All right, my friends, welcome back to the channel. In this video, what we've done is we've gone ahead and grabbed 6, I wouldn't call them hidden gems, but really amazing credit union videos where we went super deep into the details, give you a full guide on everything that you need to know, and gave them to you in one big mashup. So for a lot of you, these videos are actually gonna be brand new because it's not like they get hundreds of thousands or even millions of views, right? We're not up there yet. So what I did was, like I said, grab 6 credit unions that I think you're gonna really love here through the holiday season, get you geared up for Q1 of 2024. Go ahead and watch it through. Let me know what you think in the comment section, or if you've got data points that you wanna add to it, go ahead and drop those comments below. Let's dive into it. Affinity Federal Credit Union, my friends, 2023 update. So got a few things to cover here. So first off, we've got a fresh $25,000 approval through Affinity Federal Credit Union. You see the logo on the screen because there are several affinities. And this was for the Cash Rewards Visa Signature Card. Mouthful, I know, but I think you're gonna like this. We've got some fresh data points, so let's dive in here. First place that we're gonna start is depositaccounts.com, and we're gonna take a look at the health rating and overall size here of Affinity. I don't think we've done it in a long time. Actually, the last time we shot an Affinity video, I think was late 2021. So it's been a minute. They are the 86th largest credit union in the nation based off the ranking system that Deposit Accounts uses. And their overall rating is a C+, which isn't horrible. They got $4 billion in assets. You see, when you start to look at assets versus loans versus loan loss allowances, all of these metrics is what they use across the Texas ratio, capitalization rates, and a few others to give it this health rating. You want to spend some time here if you want to check this out for yourself. 14 reviews, and they got 2 stars based on those 14 reviews, which I'll be honest, like, it's either a lot of times the reviews are really old or they're just like super biased, and I've found very few times that they were helpful, okay? That being said, maybe they'll be helpful to you in terms of how you want to use Affinity. So that's enough of that. Here's the actual cards that they offer right here on the personal side. They offer personal and business. We do have some data points from the business side, but we're keeping that inside the Discord for now. This was the Cash Rewards Visa, which you see right here. Earn up to 5% cash back. And then we come on over, this is the third place that we need to look at, and this is walletmonkey.io, and you'll see it's Affinity Federal Credit Union. And so we've got some data points here. You can take a look at that. Here's the video that we did. More approval data. So yeah, let's get into this fresh stuff now. All right, so it was a $25,000 starting limit with their Visa Signature Card. And the reason why I think it's significant is because of a few different things. First off, this is a profile that has hundreds of thousands of dollars in total credit limit right now. They did not have an existing relationship. This was all done on the same day. So let's go into the details here. So this was done on 4/14/2023. They were approved the same day. They had check systems locked. There is no geo restrictions on this, by the way. If you come here and go, when you search out a credit union here and you go under field of membership restrictions, you can just click on this tab here and it'll take you over to the website where it'll let you know how you can join the bank. But you can get a quick, for the most part, you can get a quick jump over there to get inside, right? Otherwise, you can just go to the website and search around for under the checking and savings account, and you'll find that information there as well. All right, back to it. Check systems was locked. This is not geo restricted. So they did a $10 transfer into the account, $5 for the membership, and $5 to the organization that they needed to join in order to qualify to get into the credit union, right? Also worth noting that they will let you go up to $1,000 to fund the account, and you can do that with a debit or credit card. This is actually really common at a credit union. This may or may not be a way that you can hint, take some cash off your cards and move it out into debit and get it into cash. So it's worth noting that this is essentially a cold application into the entire ecosystem and to their top tier credit card, and got probably the largest amount that you can get as a starting limit. 25,000 is usually about the starting limit that you can get with an institution before they start asking for more documentation and before they start really getting W-2 information off of you, et cetera, right? Out of the gates, a $25,000 limit is very good. That being said, it was not an instant approval, and they did ask for documentation. He provided him with a few recent pay stubs. Again, he's got a lot of open accounts. His average age of account, or AAOA, is 7 years. He's got tons of credit union accounts, and like I said, he's got a lot of open accounts. So what's interesting about this is credit unions tend to be conservative, especially on loan products. They don't like to see credit-seeking behavior, but they also don't like to see a guy who's got a ton of available credit and not using any of it. Because another thing to note here is that the utilization is less than 1% on this profile. So this profile, while many would think that, oh wow, it'd be so easy for this guy to go get credit, it's actually not. It's harder for him to go get credit credit for the exact opposite reason that somebody who's rebuilding would have trouble going and getting credit. It's because they have too much credit, they're not using enough of that credit, they're with too many institutions, and they have too much available credit opened up. So the bank starts wondering, well, why do you even want a card with us, right? And a lot of times this guy and others like him run into that question. They would literally be asked that on the phone. So if you're in this position, you need to have an answer for that. So they pull Experian FICO 8. This hasn't changed. He was sitting at 785 at the time. Like I said, utilization is less than 1%. He's sitting on 4 total inquiries prior to the application. His income is well into 6 figures, 0 late, 0 collections, 0 bankruptcies, and he's got perfect payment history and, for the most part, 0 balances sitting on accounts. I still think they're a great solution. They're talked about a lot in our Discord. There's a lot of people in there involved in this credit union. So there's some fresh data points for you. I hope this helps you. We're going to be diving into Boeing Credit Union. This is BECU.org. This is a top 5 bank. So here's what to expect in this video. We're going to go through all the data points, all the sauce, and then we're going to talk about the health of the credit union, kind of like what we've been doing in these deep dive credit union videos. BECU is membership based. I joined this I think 2 years ago or more. They started out just targeting Boeing employees. They had branches on Boeing properties, and now they've branched out and they started going after Washington. That was kind of the next thing, and now they're going with and they're targeting out of state. So they have 1.3 million members right now, and like I said, they're a top 5 credit union. Let's dive in here. Eligibility, understand you're gonna have a harder time if you're out of state, out of their target state area. You're gonna have a harder time with, they literally call it their financial crimes unit. No joke. So they have a financial crimes unit, and you're gonna have a hard time. You're gonna have to send in a lot of stuff. So I'm just telling you that now. But hey, we'll get into more of that in just a little bit. But here's all the ways that you can get in. I think I got in through Northwest Credit Union Foundation right here, or maybe something else. Not sure. But yeah, you can get in. They got many ways in. They pull check systems to get in. There's no hard pull for membership. The credit score minimum is 620. They pull TransUnion, FICO 8. And the hard pull is good for 30 days. People have reported that you can get up to, maybe even more, 3 products. You're gonna get a hard pull for your first credit card and for a credit limit increase. So a lot of people got their first card, they also got a personal loan, and then a personal line of credit. I like this trifecta, and you'll see when we break down more of the details. You have to call in though, and talk to a rep and not try and do it online. Otherwise, it will be another hard pull. So literally, yes, that means you call in 3 times. Call in the first time, triggers the hard pull. Call in again, get the loan. Call in again, get the line of credit, right? Or the credit limit increase. Now, how soon should you pull the trigger after joining the bank? If you're out of state, give it a week or 2. Because regardless, you could apply right away and you're gonna get approved, but you're gonna get triggered by the financial crimes unit, and then you're gonna have to send in all the stuff that you would normally have to send in anyways. Expect that you're gonna have to send in proof of income, social security number, utility bills, quite a bit. And again, like I said, we're gonna get into that in just a minute, but especially out of state, you're gonna get conditionally approved for these cards, and you're gonna get your limits and everything's gonna seem fine and good, and then you're gonna go to use it, or you go to get it and activate it, and that's when they kind of lock it all down and then force you to go through the financial crimes unit to get everything handled. So another thing that I saw that was pretty common with some people is that how you could access online while the application was submitted and all that, trying to get approved, it gets trickier and harder for you to navigate, especially if you have a brand new account. That's why it's look, get it all set up, give it a week, and then apply for the card. So if you try and do all that back to back, then you start getting locked out of your own account, and then you can't get back to where you're supposed to upload documents. There's even reports that up until 2020, they were still making you fax stuff in once you got pushed to the financial crimes unit. I don't know if that's changed or not. Hopefully they've got some sort of uploading, mechanism, some secured upload piece that they can do. But anyways, let's continue. They actually use CoreLogic to verify housing data. So if you have a brand new build or a new build within the last 12 months, your house, you might actually have huge issues with verifying your housing address. They might start asking you questions about what are your property taxes amount, things like that, because in CoreLogic, they actually don't have that data yet. Understand that's why you might be having a lot of issues in general with getting approval on cards, is the address mismatch piece with CoreLogic is probably affecting a lot more
of your credit applications than you realize. Secured cards versus unsecured. Let's talk about that really quick. There's really no difference. And the reason why is because you're going to get dinged for a secured card, a hard pull, and then once it goes unsecured, you're going to get hit again. And considering it's similar underwriting process, like why bother? Just go unsecured right out of the gates. They are bankruptcy friendly, but you should wait at least 12 months after discharge to try and apply. Heard many stories of people getting approved for good limits too. Just like with Navy Fed, maximum exposure. Well, there's one here too. It's good though. So max exposure across their Visa cards, which I think all they have is Visa cards. They've got the cashback card, they've got the low interest, the low rate card. Basically across all their cards, you can get $40,000. But a lot of users reported that through late 2021 through early to mid 2022, many of them were getting automatic credit limit increases, and they're over $50,000 now. Someone called in and a rep actually confirmed that their policy for maximum revolving credit that they will issue is $40,000 across all their cards, which are just currently Visa products right now. But the exceptions are these older users that got these automatic credit limit increases. Some of them are over 50, like 50,600, etc. So 50,000 is the cutoff for them. But again, just like anything else, rules are not really rules. They're just more like soft guidelines. Okay, so that's what you can expect there. But it gets sweet once you start adding in the personal lines of credit and the loans, right? So if I can go get $25,000 loan and then a $10,000 personal line of credit, well, now we're almost at 100K, right? And I know places like Navy Fed, you can squeeze a couple $100,000 out of them, but this isn't too bad either. All right, next let's talk about the Financial Crimes Department. I think I called it unit before. Sorry, it's Financial Crimes Department. Either get through this really smooth or it's like a black hole and you never get out of it. I mean, there are some threads that I read while I was researching all this that was like, it took weeks and weeks and weeks. This reminds me of, what was it called? I think it was called BECU. It was a bank in Colorado, and holy crap, did we go through the ringer with them and then never got approved at the end. Oh, that was a horrible experience. Here's the data that you're gonna have to provide if you get snagged by the FC department, which you will if you're out of state. Okay, they're gonna ask you for ID front and back. They're gonna ask you for social security number, 6 months of pay stubs, and 2 years of tax returns. But what was weird is with some people, they were actually asking for the raw 1040. Now, I have my own assumptions on this. I just wonder if they're trying to make sure like what type of 1040, because I don't know if you know this, but there's different types of 1040 forms, and some of them you're tax ineligible because you're a foreign national, and that's actually not that hard of a status to get. And so I'm wondering if that's why they wanted to get it, to make sure like tax denomination essentially you are, and go from there. But again, that's just my personal opinion. I have no clue. Yeah, we covered the cards. I mean, pretty straightforward. The membership is actually really easy to get. You'll get instant approval online. You can go do that right now. And you can get that up and running and let that season up if you're in the garden right now. You can check out their cards for yourself. I'm not gonna go through them. They do offer the secured card like I mentioned, and in the partner Visa, let's just quickly look at that. Cool, they got airplanes on some of them. I don't know if this is with all Visa cards, I'm pretty sure it is, but this was pretty crazy. Like look at all the additional benefits. ID Navigator powered by Norton LifeLock. Again, the ID theft stuff is huge, man. You guys gotta get in on that if you haven't already, with all the security breaches that are happening now on a regular basis. Extended warranty protection, roadside dispatch, 500,000 worldwide automatic travel accident insurance. Didn't know that. Travel and emergency assistance services, price protection, lost luggage reimbursement, baggage delay protection, trip cancellation, trip interruption coverage. I think this is just exclusive to this card. I don't remember reading this with some of the Visa cards I've got, but yeah, anyway, so they literally break everything down with these cards. Okay, so let's talk data points now. All right, so data points. Got a few here for you. First one, they had 2 credit cards already. There were $6,000 on each. They basically got them right around the time when they got a membership. And again, this was pre-2020, so there's almost 2 different points in time, similar to other credit unions we've talked about. And pre-2020, there was a lot less information you had to provide. After 2020 and the Financial Crimes Department, there's a whole lot more that you have to submit now. So he had 2 credit cards. He basically split a $12,000 approval into 2 cards and just left it at that. When he first got approved for membership, get this, he was $695-ish, 80% utilization across credit cards, $85K in income. Okay, so the credit limit increase, first off, was from $6,000 to $13,500. Then called in, got the personal loan next, which was $25,000 at a 9.9% rate. Called in again, got the third piece, which all this was on one hard pull, remember, personal line of credit for $10,000 at a 12% rate. That's a pretty good stack right there, man. I'm not gonna lie to you, I like that a lot. And when they got all of that done, they had a 701 score, 10 inquiries on the profile, 46% utilization, income showing at $140,000. They had to provide social security number, last 2 years of W-2 and tax filing 1040 the tax filing 1040 itself, last 6 months of pay stubs, and that was it. Okay, next one. Opened an account in branch, checking savings. 2 weeks later, he was out of state, visited in state, opened it while he was in state in person. 2 weeks later, app for the credit card and personal line of credit got approved for $20,000, had to provide all that information and then get it unlocked. So some patterns that I noticed is they are not utilization sensitive, inquiry sensitive at all, clearly from those 2 examples. They also seem to put a lot of weight on either using other products in their ecosystem, so some sort of internal scoring mechanism or transactional data tracking that they're doing, and or good income. And since they're asking you for literally every piece of your life with the income, you can assume that because of that, and they know that you're financially solid from a DTI standpoint, that's probably, what was accounting for these higher limits. So it seems like they're very generous with limits. Again, if you've got good income and or using products within the ecosystem. So that was just kind of the patterns that I picked up on, right? Okay, next and lastly, let's finish up with the health rating. So this is the 5th largest credit union in the United States of America, and it has a health rating of A. We're gonna go through the Texas ratio, deposit growth, and capitalization, just like we usually do. They have $29.52 billion in assets. Loaned out is $15.42 billion. Deposits, $26.37 billion. Yeah, real estate owned, 0. That's interesting. They owned real estate in 2021, but got rid of it. Okay, they opened up in 1935. They have 2,500 employees. Like I said, they've got 1.3 million members. As of June 30th, 2022, Boeing Employees Credit Union had $22.76 million in non-current loans and owned real estate with $2.23 billion in equity and loan loss allowances on hand to cover it. This gives Boeing a Texas ratio of 1.02%, which is excellent. Next, deposit growth. Let's take a look at that. In the past year, BECU has increased its total non-broker deposits by $1.91 billion, resulting in 7.82% growth for the year. Whew, that's strong. That is very, very strong. Okay, capitalization. BECU has $29.52 billion in assets and $2.23 billion in equity, resulting in a capitalization level of 7.56%, which is below average. There you go, C-. That's actually what brought it down the most, hey, in its health score. So 59 locations. I don't know. You can dig through the rest if you want. This is just depositaccounts.com, and it's going to give you all the goods on this.
$25,000 approval with BCU, Baxter Credit Union. Let's talk about it. I'm going to give you the full rundown on BCU. This was brought to us by a community member recently. They went ahead and got approved for a $25,000 credit card, and they gave us all the sauce. Okay, so here we go. BCU is headquartered in Vernon Hills. It's the 3rd largest credit union in Illinois, and it is the 55th largest credit union in the nation. Established in 1980, has 341,000 members, 51 locations, and here's the ticker. Remember our video where we talked about good and bad credit unions, which one to go with? I said one of my baselines that I look for is you gotta have over $1 billion in assets. They got over $5 billion in assets. So you can check this out on depositaccounts.com, get the full rundown of the bank and what's required, right? So let's talk membership eligibility. That is the next question people are gonna ask. Is it geo-restricted? No, not on the personal side. It might be on the business side, but on the personal, it's not. Okay, so how do we join? Well, there's actually a lot going on here. In terms of what counties will work, it looks like we've got, 7 counties. So Cook, DuPage, Kane, Lake, or McHenry, and that is in Illinois, or we got Kenosha in Wisconsin, or Puerto Rico. Yes, the country, Puerto Rico. So also too, you can look at employment, you can look at family, but here's the easiest one, okay? Let me just give this to you right now. Make this real simple. It's called life.money.u. It is a free program that essentially it gives you a learning center, it gives you free credit score, look at this, goal consultants, products, and financial checkup. So this is the way in, okay? It's free to sign up. Here it is right here. It's lifemoneyu.com. So that's 2 U's, one on the money, one on you. And you just sign up for free. You click on this, subscribe today. You will have to prove this, that you're a member here, before you can get the final approval with your membership. Okay, so here's the $25,000 approval that you can see right here. Yeah, it was pretty straightforward. Got a membership, got signed up with Life Money U, and then applied for the credit card, got approved. There was no manual underwriting process or manual review at all. It was all instantaneous online. Here's the pitfalls. Here's what we gotta talk about. First off, they seem check system sensitive. Next is they are an absolute pain to deal with. So they seem to send you off to some sort of third-party verification, and they ask you all kinds of questions. It's basically like an interview. So they ask you, why do you need another credit card, especially if you have a large amount of total credit limit, which this person does. They have over $500,000 in total credit. So the first question was, why do you need another credit card? Why do you need more credit, right? Why do you want this card? What would you do with this new card issued by us to you? Those are the types of questions. He said he didn't like it. He said it wasn't invasive, but it was just borderline a little too much. Felt like an interview. So the next big pain in the butt that you have to deal with is if you get tangled up in the account protection web of any sort. So if you apply for a credit product and they request proof of income, which they didn't on this application, and you opt either not to submit the documentation or withdraw the credit application, they'll restrict your account. Some of the soft restrictions, even though they're not crazy, what they are though is no Zelle access, no ATM deposits, no outgoing transfers, and no overdraft protection. If you get tripped up in there, to get out or to make sure that your account is completely in good standing. Now, what did I miss here? I missed who do they pull? Here is the beautiful thing, my friends, that you're gonna absolutely love. I think this is one of very few banks and credit unions across the United States that does this. They pull Vantage TransUnion 4.0 score, which you can get from your Credit Karma account, I think. And this is gonna be like a lot of the free credit scores that you get, like CreditWise, which is piped into Capital One. And I even believe that one of the versions of Amex gives you both FICO and Vantage. I believe that's the same there as well. So you can find out what your Vantage score is everywhere, it seems like. So yeah, they pull Vantage score 4.0, which this was contested, I guess, for a while. People didn't really realize that they pulled Vantage. They just assumed they pulled FICO because it is so rare. So this data is actually going back years. They haven't changed at all. So they've been doing this since at least 2019 that we know of. They've been pulling Vantage. But the more videos get shot and the more people start talking about this, who knows what's gonna happen with that. But that's the data. So that's how you get in. That's the credit score that they pull. That is the details there. Let me give you two more pieces here. Next, I told you on the approval that you have to prove that you joined Life Money U. Well, here's what that looks like. Before we can disperse the card, we just need to verify eligibility. We have trouble finding your subscription to Life Money U. So then you would have to forward them or attach or screenshot your actual membership with them and prove that that's what you did. Cool? And this is the last thing I want to mention, which is absolutely insane. This is for the Unlimited Cash Rewards credit card. Earn 1.5% cash back on every purchase. Yes, yes, yes. But check this out. After just $1,000 of spend in the first 90 days, you get $200 cash back. That's 20%. That's insane. Usually what you see is spend $3,000 in the first 90 days and you'll get $200, $250 back. So it's like way worse of a deal. Whereas this is just spend $1,000 and get $200 back cash bonus. You better believe that that's not gonna last. You better believe that that is gonna get gobbled up like crazy. And then if that wasn't good enough, let me end it with another beautiful piece here, which is that they offer 0% APR for 12 months. You see right down here, 0% introductory APR rate for 12 months. So you can balance transfer this. We have somebody going through right now and asking to see, do they offer convenience checks or can I just liquidate that whole credit line right off the card immediately? What are the rules and kind of standards there? So if there's additional information, I'll go ahead and insert it into the video now. We're talking 0% for 12 months. We're talking a 20% sign-up bonus. And then on top of that, we're talking that they're pulling TransUnion. I mean, this is absolutely insane. This will not last. If you did want to get in here, yes, there's going to be some headaches that you're going to face. Strap on your patient pants. I think it's worth it in the long run. And then we haven't even started exploring the business products yet, which that'll come soon and that'll happen. We'll probably shoot dedicated videos for that, but there you go. That is BCU, Baxter Credit Union, and that is BCU.org if you want to go check it out.
Today, we need to check back in with Digital Credit Union at DCU.org. This is a top 10 credit union, and a lot of people in this community and the credit community as a whole love this bank. So we've talked about it in the past. The last time we covered this was in May, and it's time to update some sauce that we talked about in that video and just give you a general update in case this is your first time talking about or seeing DCU. DCU is membership-based. Your best way in is probably this guy right here, Reach Out for Schools. You know the game if you've been into doing credit unions is usually they'll pull check systems. DCU does as well. You got to join some sort of association. Some of these associations allow, because you get in once, for life, they allow you to get into multiple banks, but this one, that's probably your best way in. There's no hard pull to join, so it does not pull your credit to join. And the beauty and the reason why a ton of people love this credit union is because they will, after enough time in the system, they will start to give you pre-qualification offers, right? That are actual legit pre-qualification offers, meaning that you just click the button that says accept and they will approve you, right? So here's what we got. After 90 days, you'll get typically 90 days. Now, is this true for every single person in DCU? No. After 90 days, you'll get pre-approved for a $1K quick loan that's offered. After 180 days, you get approved for a $2,000 quick loan. And so the $2,000 offer, to give you an idea, it's at 10%, and that would come out to be $177 per month. Just keep that in mind. So it's like, it's not cheap APR by any means, because how the amortization schedule works on that, okay? So a 2K quick loan, you're looking at about $177 as your monthly payment. Now we have somebody in the community right now going through this, and they've been like busting these out back to back to back. He thinks that you can't get more than 3 2K quick loans in a 180-day period. We'll check in on that because he's about to pay off his again so that he can open up another one before the holidays. But yeah, you can just keep opening these. It's not a one and done type thing. So anyways, that's a good thing. But now the other side of this is that they work off of data points to some degree, internal data points. They have to, because this guy's also now getting pre-approved for like everything. Pre-approved for an auto up to $50,000, APR 5.24%, pretty good. Auto loan and auto refinance, same thing. You see, and this has changed slightly. It used to be a dark green accept offer button, or a light green, I think. And dark green is what it normally looks like. Well, now it's turned to yellow. They've updated their site. It's everything's changed. The fonts have changed, everything, right? So anyways, this is the new style of site. Pre-approved for $25,000, up to $25,000 for a motorcycle. And then he's got a 4K Visa Platinum already. And so we'll talk more about that in just a minute. But you can see that even they're going to soft pull for credit limit increase up to $10,000 at 11.75 APR. That's a killer APR for a credit card. Large recreational vehicle, you're pre-approved for up to $30,000. Personal loan, you see that apply now, that means no. That means you're going to have to apply. Now, when you apply, this is a hard pull. And a lot of times they will ask for POI, proof of income. So they will not work off stated income. They will work off of what you give them in W-2s and things like that, right? So you want to go with these, and these are soft pull offers. Like this guy, it was a soft pull offer for his credit card, right? So if you stick around long enough in the ecosystem, you start using, the secured shared loans, you start using the quick loans, and ta-da, you start getting pre-qual offers for like everything. Small recreational vehicle, you're pre-approved for up to $15,000. I mean, he's like pre-approved for everything. Next, I guess let's talk about, I don't know if they still have this, we can double check on this, is on their savings account, you would get 6% up to $1,000, should be here. Primary savings maybe? As high as 6.17% on balances up to $1,000. So that is still in play. So you can do that and at least get some of your money moving, right? Next thing is you can fund the savings account with a credit card. We've had many people doing this now. And it just shows up as a regular, payment, a regular ACH type payment. It does not show up as a cash advance fee. Now, there's a lot of credit unions that do this. It tends to be credit unions that allow this, not big banks. Big banks, they've got teams and review teams. They're making sure that every time they can qualify you for a cash advance, even if it's borderline, they're going to push you over the edge and so that they can collect more of a fee, right? Whereas with credit unions, what I've seen across the boards is they tend to not really care, meaning that how they've got this coded in their system is that whether it's an actual cash advance or not, for the most part, they're putting you in as just a regular payment. So this should trigger a cash advance at most banks. It does not with DCU. And again, there's many banks that do this, credit unions that do it like that too. One hard pull is good for 30 days. So if you wanted to go in cold and you didn't want to wait for all of the pre-approval madness to happen, you could just dive in, and one hard pull will last for 30 days. So you can get a credit card product and a personal loan product on the same hard pull. Cool. And so next, let's do a quick update on the shared secured loan, which is this guy right here, as low as 3.5%, up to 120 months. And they've even got a calculator down here for you to, figure this out and determine how much you want to put in and how long, right? The cool thing about this is just like the Navy Fed pledge loan. So what I mean by just like it is that you open up your loan and then you immediately pay off 70, 80, 90% of it. And then it'll push your payment out to like 2024, 2025, something like that. And it reports as an installment loan on your credit, and it helps bring in different new credit factors for your credit mix, which accounts for 5% of your credit profile. Yeah, it helps build up data points within the system. So we've got one person in the community that's been doing this. Let me show you that. So here's what that looks like, shared loan, and boom, next payment is June 30th, 2024. Payment's only $30, and the balance is only $300 from $1,000. So they paid off 70% of it right off the bat. And that's it. That's a cool little hack. Again, it's reminiscent of the pledge loan hack that we use with Navy Fed all the time. Let me share with you just the quick data points. I believe I said $4,000 earlier that a gentleman got on the credit card. I was wrong. It's $5,000, and that is on the Visa Platinum. So if we come up here to borrow credit cards, I think it was just the Platinum, not the Platinum Rewards. So they got $5,000 on a soft pull, and no proof of income, no nothing. So that's just because they went in, they opened an account, they got some direct deposits, some action going on in the account, They started using the quick loans back to back to back to back. And what do you know? Before you know it, they started getting pre-approved for this. Okay, so again, remember it's the yellow accept offer button. If it says green and apply, no. Okay, and then the last piece I wanted to share with you is this. This is their health grade. So I know a lot of times people are thinking, how stable is this credit union? Credit unions are at more risk than big banks, so we think. But this is a health grade rating. And we're going to go through a few things. We're going to go through the Texas ratio, the deposit growth, and the capitalization, okay? This credit union is doing good. Assets and liabilities, let's quickly look at that. This is year over year. So they've gone from $9 billion in assets to $10.69. Loans, they've gone from $6.9 in quarter two of 2021 to $8.7 billion in quarter two of 2022, which that's when this data is most recent. Deposits, $8.8 billion to $9.6. Equity capital, $950 mil to $970. Here's the rest of their data points here. I'm not going to go through every single one. Employees, 1,646 employees, which is crazy. They actually started in 1979. So the Texas ratio is an indicator of how much capital a bank has available compared to total value of loans considered at risk. As of June 30th, 2022, BECU has $47.77 million in non-current loans and owned real estate with $1.1 billion in equity and loan loss allowances on hand to cover it. This gives BECU a Texas ratio of 4.31%, which is excellent. Any bank with a Texas ratio near or greater than 100% is considered at risk. Next, let's look at the deposit growth. In the past year, BECU has increased its total non-brokered deposits by $795 million, resulting in 8.99% growth for the year. The strong track record of growth is an indicator of consumer confidence, the bank's ability to strengthen its balance sheet. Yeah, no kidding. So BECU is shown as excellent. And lastly, capitalization. Both FDIC and NCUA, which are the governing body associations, consider capitalization levels of banks and credit unions to be of high importance. Higher capitalization allows for a greater buffer when or if to cover loans that may fail in the future. BECU has $10.69 billion in assets with $1.1 billion in equity, resulting in a capitalization level of 10.37%, which is above average. We need to head on over to walletmonkey.io, master credit lender list, and if we scroll down, you'll see that just like with most banks and credit unions, even though there's 54,000 credit unions, we don't have them all, but we've got a lot, that we've got some intel here. So DCU, Digital Credit Union, that is us. We see some basic credit points here of a 640 plus. They pull, it looks like Experian and Equifax, depending on the product. We've got an EQ pull of 647, was approved for 3,500, and in this more info, if we click there, it takes us all the way down to the bottom and explains in more detail what's going on. So usually for a personal loan, auto loan, it pulls Experian. For credit cards, it pulls Equifax, requires POI, proof of income, with every loan and credit card. Creating a free checking account and letting it sit for 6 months will allow you to qualify for offers. Now, I don't know if we've got an exact page for this. I'm pretty sure we do. If not, we'll get that out soon. But we've got all the screenshots to show you what this exactly looks like. For pre-approvals, something changes, right? So after the 90-day mark, you start getting qualified for things, 180 days, and then obviously 6 months as well, you start getting pre-qualified for basically everything. Here's what that looks like is log into your DCU account under Loan Suite. Each loan type will have either a green button that says apply, that's not a pre-approval, or a green button that says accept. And text underneath it will say approved up to. That means that it's just a soft pull and it's yours, right? Apply button means that there'll be a hard pull and you got to submit documentation, etc., etc. Now, keep in mind too is that DCU will not hard pull for membership. They will pull check systems, right? You do have to sign up through membership and do the yearly thing to actually get approved and get membership through a different organization to get into DCU. But once you're in, you get a hard pull on a credit product. You can then get multiple credit products within 30 days. Okay, so you got 30 days to apply for another loan type once you've gotten that hard pull. For example, if you get a credit card, then you can also get a personal loan off the same hard pull, okay? So it's membership based. Like I said, it pulls check systems on sign up, no hard pull to join. After 90 days, you'll get qualified for a $1,000 quick loan. After 180 days, you'll get pre-qualified for a $2,000 quick loan. The rates on those are just kind of bad. I think it's like 10 to 12% because the payments per month are somewhere between like $100 and $200. Depending on the loan. So those just aren't that good. You can get savings percentage of 6% APY up to $1,000 on savings. So it's like, it's not that much. But again, It's got some of your money working for you, so I think that's good. A lot of people are excited about that. You can fund a savings account with a credit card, and it's not charged as a cash advance fee. We actually just had somebody do this, and they confirmed that it just showed up as a service type payment. So there was no extra APR or additional fees that they had to pay to fund the savings account off of a credit card. We already talked about the one hard pull per 30 days. And then the last piece, and this looks like a newer development, but they have besides the quick loans, they've got a secured savings loan. And that looks to be not only a soft pull, but also too, it looks like it is a pledge loan. It looks very similar to a Navy Fed pledge loan. DCU is a big one on the channel, in the community. It's just one of those banks, just like Navy Fed, where it just works out that a ton of people are constantly actively getting new cards, trying out new loan products and things like that. And then we kind of piece that together and make, more detailed videos like this. So there is a few updates that I want to talk about that we've added to the page. You can just go on over to walletmonkey.io, come over here to guides, definitive guide to digital credit union DCU right here. And there it is. So what has changed? Really, we just got some additional data points. So, people are constantly calling in and trying to figure out what's the max exposure? How many cards can I get? Can I double dip? Things like that, right? So we've covered most of this in other videos on the channel. I'm actually gonna make a dedicated DCU playlist so you can check those out. But the changes that I've added here is that we found out from multiple reps that the max exposure on credit cards is $100,000. And the max amount of cards that you can have is 2 cards. So you do the math on that, a 25K card and a 75K card, 90, 10, whatever it is. So $100,000 max exposure is actually really, really good. That's higher than Navy Fed. So that's insane. Hard pulls last 45 days, can pull a loan product and a credit product on the same hard pull, AKA double dip. Yeah, we've talked about that before. What score do they pull from is still in debate, whether it is it seems to be one of two. It's either a FICO 4 Equifax, so here's the other 4, or it's a Equifax FICO 5 mortgage. So I'm not really sure which one, but basically it's been claimed that they pull either one or both. Not both, but they will pull either one based on people's different profiles. So again, that's up for contention. I don't really think that's a big deal at all. Then there's also the pre-qualification or pre-approval up to $10,000, which you see right here on the screen. This apparently, if you do qualify, you'll see it quarterly. So this we've shown in the past, and somebody actually executed on this, and it does work. Basically, they will soft pull pre-approve you at various different times during the fiscal quarters. And if you are pre-approved for this, then you'll see literally this message. You're pre-approved for up to $10,000. Accept the offer, they'll give the APR. And again, we've talked about the difference in color on the buttons. We've talked about all that in previous videos. And then lastly, I just wanted to touch on this again, but there is a secured loan or a quick loan option that they give you within DCU, and you qualify within 90 days for $1,000 and 180 days for $2,000. It's pretty similar to the pledge loan with Navy Fed. You can use it similar to that, and we break all that down on the site. And also too, in this video here, we break everything down, you see, in great detail. So, I mean, you've got everything that you need to be successful with DCU on the site here. And then obviously those are the recent changes that we've come across and updates that we've got for you. We'll probably shoot a video later on in the year or as things change.
In this video, we are gonna cover Greenstate Credit Union. Yes, this is officially a hidden gem at the time of shooting this video. I don't think there's any other videos out there. It hasn't blown up yet on the FICO forum, so this is your opportunity to get in on the ground level, okay? If that doesn't sound like an MLM pitch, I don't know what does. But anyways, Greenstate Credit Union, let's talk about it. So this used to be the Ohio University Credit Union or something like that, and now it's called Greenstate. And since about October, maybe November, we've had 4 or 5 people now in the community go through this, give us data points, and obviously we've got to, confirm and make sure that everything is the way that we thought it was. That being said, 4 or 5 people is now like some conclusive data out of 360 million plus people in the United States. But it's a good place to start. So what's the deal with this? Well, the deal is they've got 3 different cards. They've got the Platinum Rewards, which is your basic 3-2-1 card. They've got the World Masterclass, which this is a minimum of 10,000 credit limit or higher. And then they've got the Platinum, which is probably their low APR card, right? So all the underwriting is done in-house. So this is a TransUnion soft pull if you've got that locked down, because they will do a hard pull for credit limit increases. If you've got that locked down, they will pull Equifax. So we've had somebody literally do that as well. Credit limit increases as well, they'll do 3x, so just like American Express. So if I have a $3,000 card, I ask for 9, I'll get it, as long as everything, works out. And then obviously too, you've got the fact that that's gonna be a hard pull every single time. Soft pull to get in, fairly easy. You can join American Consumer Council, ACC, if you haven't already. That will get you into most of the credit unions that you're probably trying to do business with and go with. But yeah, that's your play there to get in. We got some data points literally from just the other day, and the process was really quick. Called in, put $50 into standard checking, put $5 into a shared savings account, was able to fund those initial deposits off of a credit card, which, fun fact, by the way, most credit unions will let you do this, and there is no cap with a lot of the credit unions on how much you can deposit. So if you're trying to get cash off cards, simple way to do it. Now, keep in mind, they will pull check systems as well, like most credit unions do. We actually had a member, George Washington, get denied last year around August because he had too many hits on his check system, so they denied him to get in. And now he's going and obviously got in his redemption, and he got in there and he got a $10,000 limit on the Platinum Rewards. Also too, just real quick, the whole process took like an hour or less to get set up. That's what I've been hearing from literally everyone, is that very personable people, very easy to get set up. Very simple. Now, a couple data points that we're unclear on yet, and maybe I'll insert them in the video right here, is on the World MasterCard, and just what is the minimum and what is the maximum on it. I've heard up to 30, 40,000 on that card. And then the second thing is, it would appear that they will accept in the low to mid 600s in terms of credit scores. Okay, so let's look at a data point here on my FICO forums. We'll just pull this up. This is from February of 2022. So this is like one of the only posts about Greenstate. Okay, so yes, it used to be called University of Iowa Credit Union. So it used to be geo-restricted in terms of the membership. So it requires someone to live or work in Iowa, Illinois, Wisconsin, Nebraska, South Dakota, basically all states that border Iowa. Now, I'm not sure if they just opened it up or if it's always been like this, but like I said, American Consumer Council will get you in there. Already covered that they soft pull TransUnion FICO 8. With a CLI, they will hard pull Equifax if you've got TransUnion locked, which seemed to be fine, okay? Any hard pull is good for 30 days, so you can get other credit products like auto and personal loans. Now, another thing to mention here is that they do have business products, but like even looking on their website, they don't have any like area where that is on their website, but I've just heard from people, and it's from them talking with reps, that they do offer business products. We're still trying to wait to find that out. Again, if I've got any additional data by the time we upload this, I'll put that on the screen now. But yeah, that's it. That's pretty straightforward. Like, this guy was at 722 at the time. He got approved for a 10K. He thought they were joking. Yeah, he's got a BK, a Chapter 7 BK from 2012. The FICO scores were as of March 2021. Oh, is that probably in his SIG? I don't know. So he's saying 722 at the time. Okay, that's fine. And then stated income was 95K per year. Stated income on the one that just got approved too was definitely over 100,000. But another one that we know got approved was in the 40 to 60 range, stated income wise. Didn't have to provide additional data or documentation on that. So there you have it, my friends. $10,000 limit based off of a soft pull. Yes, can be yours too. Go through this video again, double check your data points. Obviously, if you're in position for an app spree, do it. If you're just trying to run and gun and jump on video to video opportunities and get in early on credit unions, probably not the best way to do it. Probably just relax, change your strategy a little bit. But if you're already looking, this might be a great option to help thin out utilization, as well as start a relationship with what seems to be a really, really great bank. All right, let's dive into Wings Federal Credit Union is what we're going to deep dive today. This is another hidden gem. If you watch the whole unfolding of the BECU, Baxter Credit Union, then you know that as soon as that went hot and started going viral across the internet, that they completely changed the underwriting process. And now here we are a couple of months later, and they're denying memberships, and they're completely changing. This is red hot. If you want to get in, pay attention, follow along. This is a pretty big bank. They got a B+ rating on deposit accounts. They've got over $8.5 billion in assets. So that puts them definitely in the top 100 credit union, which we pay attention to on this channel. If you're new here, we like to stick to top 100 or so credit unions because they tend to be managed better, run better. They have more, SOPs and stuff in process to help people get from membership to credit approval on their products, right? They've got personal and business covered. Business, they only got checking, and we don't have any intel on this. And they've got commercial loans, which seem to be really, really good. Low rates up to, I think it was like starting at $2 million up to 20 million or something like that. So the business side is good, but no credit cards. On the personal side, they've got 3 credit cards, your typical kind kind of platinum card and then a couple of rewards cards, and then they got loan products. So I state that because you might be able to double dip. More on that in a second. I'm gonna give you all the sauce, all the intel, stick with me. All right, next, another thing you might wanna look at is check this out. They are giving 5% APY on a 10-month cert right now, minimum of only $500. That's kind of crazy. Understand that to get a membership, to get a savings account or a cert set up, you need a membership. So everything that we're about to cover applies to you. All right, so let's dive in now and get into the data points. Let me pull them up here. They will hard pull on membership. So just to get a membership, just to get a CD set up, a cert set up, they will hard pull you. Yeah, kind of sucks. That being said, they will immediately give you pre-approved offers on credit cards and auto loan and auto refinancing, which means that's why I thought maybe you might be able to double dip. We don't know for sure. You guys let me know after you go through and do it, but you might be able to double dip. So get a credit card and a loan product of some sort. Next is they will pull Vantage 4.0 Experian. Let me say that again. They will pull Vantage 4.0 score, the Experian Credit Bureau. If you have no clue about Vantage, then you're gonna wanna tune into the Vantage 234 video that we shot. If I don't remember to pin it here, then just check on the channel. It was shot within the last month or so. So that will bring you up to speed on everything Vantage that you need to know. They will hard pull on membership, understand that, but they will immediately give you pre-approved offers. Let's take a big step back. How do we get in? Well, they mostly serve, it was airline based, and then I think they bought somebody out in 2010, another credit union, and now they kind of open the doors. So they service geographically Minneapolis and Seattle, but you can get in by joining the Wings Financial Foundation, WFF, with a $5 donation. So that's your way in. They're gonna hard pull you on membership. You get pre-approved offers right away. And the next big thing is that you gotta have your check systems unlocked. They will hard pull check systems, which most credit unions do. But if you have that locked, they will deny you instantly. We had somebody go through, check systems was locked, denied. So we've already seen the email sequence and stuff that they send out when they deny you, so keep that in mind. Next, they give you a free credit report, your Vantage 4.0 credit reports. So a lot of us in the community are still trying to figure out, like, where do I even go to get Vantage 4 scores? A lot of people are still trying to figure this out because you can't get it in a lot of places. Most of it is Vantage 3. Well, you can get your Vantage 4 scores from them just by setting up an account. So you could even set up a basic checking and savings and still get access to that Vantage 4 score if you really wanted it. Next is they seem conservative. And so what I mean by that is we only have a few data points at this point of people who've actually gotten approved. We saw 680 get approved with 5,000, and then we saw over 700 get approved for a $15,000 card, but everyone's stating that they're conservative. It seems that way. A 680 getting approved is not always about the score, so I assume there's other factors at play, like they've got a thick file, they've got mortgages on their student loans, you know, they've got everything that the credit unions want to see, and that's why it got approved, because 680 usually isn't approved. That being said, we need to call something out here, is there's a huge difference usually between your Vantage scores and your FICO scores. We're talking like 50 to 100 points. If your Vantage 3 scores are sitting, 75 points below your FICOs right now, this probably isn't the play for you. If you've got a thin credit profile, 30K stated income, 2 trade lines, and you're thinking that you're gonna Hail Mary this thing and get a 20K card, probably not the play. It's not gonna work. They're looking for a more seasoned profile. So that means like 60K and above stated income, 5, 10, 15 different accounts already set up, 2 years, 4 years, 5 years, average age of account. That's what they're looking for. That's like the baseline for a lot of these banks. If you've got that, credit score matters a little bit less. They'll take in those 680s, 670s, things like that. Let's cover the cards now. So we've got 3 cards. We've got 2 cashback cards, and then we've got the low interest platinum, which you see usually at credit unions. This is standard, right? And this, if you play your cards right, can be used as a great debt weapon as well. 0% APR for 12 months on all 3 cards. And then you see this one starts at 13% APR, whereas the other 2 start at 18. Here's where I want your eyes to go if they haven't already. Minimum credit limit for both the cashback rewards cards is 5,000. The minimum for the platinum is 500, which I would never want to limit that low on something that I'm trying to use as a debt weapon. I want a fat limit. I want a 20, 30K limit on something like this so that the 0% APR can actually be used to do its job and be used, like I said, as a debt weapon. So their cards are pretty killer, right? $5,000 minimum credit. That reminds me of Flagship through Navy Federal, which is a $5,000 minimum as well. Those are the 3 cards. Like I said, they got personal loan products. You might be able to double dip. We're not sure. Hey, you should subscribe. 60% of you are not subscribed yet. Right there. Okay, bye.